Welcome back. It's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review. And today we are hopping into the time machine and traveling way back to 1996. As we take a look at this is from Kenner. It is the Batman Forever Night Flight Batman with Bat Attack Action. And this features the body adaptive tech suit, which was kind of like the gimmick. The body adaptive tech suit was, every Batman figure would come sort of like gimmicky kind of body armor. And in this case, it was Night Flight Batman. Back in 1996, I think I was in my second year of college when these action figures came out. And at the time, I remember collecting these mint on card, and I'd hang them up and display them on my wall. I'm very fond of this time period. I know I say that all the time, but there's something about the mid-90s, late 90s, and early 2000s where for me, it was such a fun time collecting action figures. And the Kenner stuff, especially with their Batman line of action figures, it was, I don't know, for me it was always a fun time. You know, they made a lot of action figures, a lot of vehicles, a lot of accessories. And this figure is actually a really nice one. All right, so why are we looking at this figure now in 2022 when this came out years ago? Well, recently I purchased a Batman Forever Batmobile, and hopefully I'll do a review of that in the near future. And I needed a Batman figure for it. So this is the one I decided on, Night Flight Batman. I like the costume because it's kind of like a charcoal gray. He's missing a cape, but I don't mind because I'm just going to seat this guy in the Batmobile so he doesn't need one. His plain uniform without the armor isn't very, gimmicky. It's kind of just a plain old Batman. As opposed to some of the other ones, like for example, over here we have Neon Armor Batman. It's a little too bright, for me. There's Attack Wing Batman, which is kind of like purple and red. And I kind of just wanted to stay like, ideally I would have liked like a pure black Batman. But this is the only one that I could find on eBay that wasn't like beat to hell for a reasonable price. So yeah, we're going to take a look at this. Beautiful card art. I love the artwork from the 90s. I really wish, they'd collect like an art book that just feature all the different, product illustrations done for the toys. That looks awesome. Back in the 90s, if you're buying this, you really got a lot for your money. You got this giant bodysuit or body armor, and you got a really cool figure. The articulation on the figure is very limited. As you can see, it's probably about 5 points of articulation with the neck, the arms, and the legs. But that's all right. If you're a child back then, I think articulation isn't super, super important. As long as, you can play around with it and, put it into the vehicle. Here are the instructions for Night Flight Batman. So here's the back view. And this is with the figure. So it kind of like increases the size of the figure by a lot. As you can see here, the wingspan looks to be pretty, pretty lengthy, pretty wide. And then it looks like the wings fold up or fold down. And then here's some of the other figures. They made some small micro play sets. A lot of repaints. Yeah, so this is a really cool line of toys. I was so fond of the Batman Forever line and also the Batman and Robin line. Right, so let's take a look at this thing out of the box. It kind of pains me to do this, but I need the figure. Alright, so, first impressions of the figure. It looks awesome. I haven't handled a figure like this brand new in like a lifetime. It's really, really something. This is nice. I kind of like that, retro style figures are kind of in right now. Like, there's the reaction stuff, and McFarlane's doing their superpowers. Because for me, sometimes I just want a really cool toy. You know, I know nowadays everyone's all about like stuff like this. You know, here's a McFarlane DC Multiverse 7-inch scale gold label collection Batman. And this is awesome, don't get me wrong, but every now and then I'm just in the mood for like a simple toy. And I think this something like this is awesome. It's really really nice. I love the shade of like metallic gray they're using for this. The bat emblem in copper or brass looks really awesome too. As you can see, the detailing for 1996, it's pretty decent. It's not that bad. Let's move this aside. Yeah, it's nicely sculpted. You know, even though it doesn't have like all the bells and whistles of like a modern engineered action figure, it's still a really nice toy. And, you know, heavy emphasis on toy. You know, this is meant to be played with. The joints are nice and tight. Everything seems to move nicely. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, so I'm going to use this guy for a Batmobile I recently purchased. And I'll hopefully do a review of that in the near future. The only issue is that the Batmobile I bought is kind of large, so I'm not sure if I could fit it underneath my camera. It's a great looking figure. Here's one of his weapons. It looks like some sort of like, I don't know what this is, like a chainsaw or a buzzsaw. Because you can see the blades on one end. And then here's, I believe that's the handle. So you can probably hold it in place like this. So this is like a forearm guard. And then I think you just plug it over his hand like that. Yeah, this looks really cool. Look at that. Now I know Batman doesn't believe in using guns, but something like this seems like it seems like it's meant to do like a lot of like bodily harm. You know. So that looks cool. Let's take a look at the wings. All right, so here's the crazy like night flight suit. And then here are the wings. I should really consult the instructions before I put this together, because I think once you snap these pieces into place, I think you're kind of committed, I think. Alright, so here's the instructions. Alright, the raised tab guide, wingtip. Okay, so here's the back view. And then I'm going to take the wings. Okay, so this plugs in like this. All right, a nice satisfying click. I love the feel of this plastic too. This really takes me back. The plastic of this plastic quality, it feels very like 90s, early 2000s. And then over here, we're going to do the same on this side. Alright, don't mess up. Shoot. Alright, there you go. Snapped into place. Oh wow, the wings are spring-loaded. That's really cool. Oh, no way. That's awesome. Okay, I see the gimmick. The gimmick is pretty cool. Alright, so Alright, so here's Batman. Let's take off this crazy thing. And then, alright, so for the night flight suit, alright, so this is the back. The wings fold down like this. And then there's a thing here that slides, a little tab. It slides up, and that locks the wings into place. So then what you do here is, this is kind of crazy too, because if you look at it, it looks like a bat. You know, here are the bat wings. This is like the bat's head. And it looks like a bat wearing sunglasses. You can see the fangs. So you lift this out, you lift this up, and then you put Batman inside of it. And then you fold this down over his shoulders, I believe. So you see here, the groove here fits over his shoulders. And then his head. Oh, so it makes sense. This is a visor because he's looking through it. And then if he's flying, you slide this tab down and the wings fold out. So you take this tab here and you slide it down. Yeah, that's cool. I dig that a lot. That's an awesome play feature. If I'm a little kid, or even as a grown adult, I think I'd like, you know, play with this thing and just like beat it to death. It's really nifty. So let's do it one more time. Yeah, that's cool. I dig that a lot. Very cool. The detailing on here is nice. You know, for the mid-90s, it's pretty decent. And in some ways, I think a toy like this would even hold up today. Like, if you take a look at some of the budget figures we get from, like, Hasbro and Mattel, they're all right. But I think something like this, you know, would easily measure up to, like, some of the stuff that's out there today. And it's really cool. Look at that. It's awesome. I dig this. So for me, this is a nice trip down memory lane. I'm so nostalgic for the 90s, especially when it comes to the toys. You know, the toys aren't as, like, crazy, like, articulated and as detailed as the stuff we get nowadays, but, you know, there's a certain novelty and charm to these older figures. You know, if you ever go to, like, a flea market or a comic book convention or a toy convention, you know, don't sleep on these older toys, especially if you grew up during this time period. I think, you know, the price you pay for some of these figures, you know, especially if you could find them cheap, which many of them are, you know, just the nostalgia over it, I think it's really priceless. So, cool toy. Dig this a lot. It's really awesome. Alright, so with that being said, let's wrap this video up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So, until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.